tell us, Camilla, tell us a little bit about the actual story, how it came about for your film, and then why you actually were inspired to actually make it.
Yeah. Well, it came, I started to work on the script 12 years ago, and it came first a couple of images, and those images I felt they held an emotion that I wanted to explore. And the image was two children lost in the woods holding hands. And I realized that there was something there, not so much about the actual setting, more of the emotional content, being lost and holding hands. And I thought, so I sat down writing from that emotion. And I soon found I was writing scenes kind of related to my childhood. And so I wrote quite a few scenes, and I discovered the story that way. And I wrote scenes that were close to my childhood and some scenes that were not so close. And then with that, I put together the narrative, which is quite close to the film as it is now.
Right.
And so it's a personal film. But it's also the subject matter, which is children who have to take the role of the adult too quickly, and parents who fail as parents, and that conflict of the children being having that burden of being parents to their parents, and still have needs as children that they are not met on, so to speak. That was something that really mattered to me, and I wanted to, I thought it was important to tell that story.
Now tell us about the casting process for Jill, the character, and how you actually found her to actually do this film.
Yeah. It was a long process, also because we casted in several stages, because we were waiting for funding and we were looking at the same time for children who... but she came quite late, I think 6 weeks away from the shoot, so it was getting a bit, we were getting a bit nervous. But I had support from, people that I really trusted. Don't go for anyone that you don't really know in your heart is right.
Yes.
And when I met Ylva, the girl playing Jill, she touched me the first time I met her, really. There was something about her, she had an open curiosity and an extremely empathy. You just felt the empathy that she had. And she had these, these very expressive big eyes. Which for me expresses some wisdom beyond her years. And she was just 14 when we did the film, so and she had no experience. Right. So I think so when I met her and I saw her audition, it was quite an easy choice, I would say. Yeah.
But of course, she is the main character of the film, obviously. Yeah. How did she react to becoming that main character? And she's actually the center of the film, and she has to go through this coming of age process in the film. How did you sort of coach her to become stronger throughout the film?
Yeah, it's interesting because Ylva, she doesn't have a troubled background, thank God, but and she has a very supportive family. And I had to we had quite thorough talks where we talked through the themes of the film and went through the script and all the situations. And she was very, she wanted to find out why is the mother the way she is? Why what happened? Why is she so troubled? And so and I sort of had to we really had to discuss it indeed. And then, so that was the intellectual part of it. Right. And then the other part, which was probably more important, was that I built up, or I tried to build up the relationship between Ylva, the girl, and Maria, the actress playing the mother.
Yes.
So they should build a relationship that wasn't as persons, as well as the relationship between the boy and Ylva. So they had a real relationship as persons, not only as characters. Right. And I put them in situations that could was related to situations in the script. Right. And also situations that could help them bounce off. For instance, having Maria and the boy and the girl going shopping at the supermarket together, and then I sent them home to my flat, and Maria cooked them dinner and read them stories, and that way they got to know each other.
Right.
But more importantly, I think, is that they had experienced Maria, the actress, as a really warm and caring person. So when we came on set and she was quite brutal with them, rejected them, that felt like a real shock, and quite, they were baffled and quite scared. So I think that was to give the actors real experiences, emotional experience, I think is the key for me anyway.
Now this film actually, it's a coming of age story for you, and but I think it also, from my perspective, it actually comments of troubled parenthood and of course substance abuse with parenting. Can you comment a little bit about that and briefly describe the perspectives that you give to your audience about parenting and the troubles of parenting?
Oh, it's a you. Ooh,
which is might be a loaded question, but
well, well, what can I say? I mean, it's a complex subject matter. So, but obviously, I wanted to describe rather than give any prescription in a way of what is wrong and what is right. Or I didn't want to judge these parents.
Right.
But I do think they fail, and I do think they they not only fail, but they betray their children. I would say, without meaning to, because they are children themselves.
Right.
And for me, it was really important to give a portrayal of and be truthful about that kind of swap of roles, that they are actually children. They are less mature in these children, truly. And that's why also, so the substance abuse is part of that picture.
Yes.
And they use it to escape or to soothe their own wounds, as often happens with substance abuse. But for me, it was really important to show this and not judge it, and because these are probably, I think that these parents have also been let down, betrayed.
Yes.
So they can't really do differently.
Right.
And that's so sad.
Right.
So I think the film is quite brutal with the parents, but still don't judgmental. I mean, that was my aim anyway.
Right.
And the other thing I would also say is that I do think that at the end of this film, you do feel that these children will survive, because they are quite resourceful, they are quite robust. So the other thing is that I wanted to say with this story is that no matter your history, no matter your experiences, there are always some resources in there.
Right.
So I think that for Jill and Bo, the kids in the film, they have got something from these parents. Not maybe not the things they needed as parents from parents parenting necessarily, but other things, So I think they take something away from their parents that are truly valuable.
Absolutely.
And I think that's kind of important for me to see indirectly in this film, that that everybody, no matter how dark it looks, there are always something in your story that is worth looking up and kind of value, and you can grow from there. But it takes a lot of work.
Oh yes,
work upon yourself, I think.
Now tell us, can you comment about TIFF standing behind women filmmakers to share her journey? Can you tell us your perspective on that, or can you comment on that and how you see yourself in this stance behind women filmmaking, of course?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's wonderful that they have put this focus on it, and you can tell in this festival, I think, because there are a lot of really prolific filmmakers, women filmmakers here, and I think I think it's really important to have that focus on it, and to throw the light on female filmmakers, because there have been other festivals this year who have clearly kind of ignored women filmmakers, and I think it's great that TIFF really lifts that up. I think that for me, I would say that I feel really fortunate to be in this time and age where for the first time maybe there are really true new possibilities for female directors. I mean, I think versatility is so important in filmmaking, as in all art, because it's all about point of view. So they are so important to have a versatile point of view in every story and in every art form, I think. Yeah.
Now, tell us how it feels to be here at the film festival, and tell us a little bit about the story when they called you and they selected your film. Tell us a little bit about that.
No, it was. I mean, it's such a great honor to be here. It's the first time I'm in a TIFF, and first time in Canada. It's lovely. It's really lovely. It's a great festival. I tell everybody all the time. It's so well organized, and it's really, really good. So many great films, and I mean, for me, I think for a film like Phoenix, it's really important to be acknowledged the way by a festival like TIFF, because that's in a cinema market now where it's quite difficult for dramas and things that are not high concept films. Smaller dramas, it's really important to have the sort of the acknowledgement from a prolific festival.